Well, looking at 2020 now, Senator Kamala Harris will make the first stop of her presidential campaign in the early voting state of South Carolina on Friday. She's set to speak at a fundraiser for the Columbia chapter of her Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. The senator from California will formally launch her campaign on Sunday with a kickoff rally in her hometown of Oakland. She then heads to the first in the nation voting state, Iowa, for a town hall at Drake University in Des Moines on Monday. Just hours after announcing her candidacy yesterday, the senator held a news conference at her alma mater, Howard University, where NBC's Andrea Mitchell asked her this question.
Senator, Joe Biden has said that the test should be who is best able to defeat Donald Trump. That's the test. Why are you the best capable, the strongest Democrat to defeat Donald Trump?
Well, Andrea, let's start with this. I love my country. I love my country. And I feel a sense of responsibility to stand up and fight for the best of who we are. And I'm prepared to fight, and I know how to fight. And in particular, when we're talking about fighting for the values that we hold sacred and dear, when it comes to talking about how we fight for the American people and have leadership in this country that is focused on the needs of the people instead of self-interest, I'm prepared to fight that way. And I believe it will be a winning fight.
But 17 or more other Democrats say that they love their country. Why are you better than they?
I think the voters will decide, ultimately.
The senator encouraged other Democrats who want to run to, quote, jump in. She said her path to victory will be through all 50 states. So John Kennedy once said that when you see daylight, run to it. And that is exactly what women across America and the world have been doing since Donald Trump got elected, running. From women's marches to school board campaigns to congressional landslides, the political skies seem to have opened up wide for women in a way unseen in our lifetimes. And the most bitter irony for the man whose agenda these women will soon be stopping in its tracks, it is Donald Trump himself, whose excesses, racism, and misogyny led to this landmark moment in U.S. political history. With the latest entry in the 2020 Democratic sweepstakes by Kamala Harris, the early pace for the Democratic nomination for president is being set by women. In addition to Harris, her fellow senators Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts have also made their own audacious move toward history. Other gifted women, including Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, are considering their own runs at smashing the glass ceiling. Why this big number of strong, credible female candidates for president in one cycle? Literally unprecedented in American history? One reason is surely Hillary Clinton. She took up a lot of space in the Democratic Party, and her loss in 2016 created a huge opening for a new group of women to step up. It's also the natural evolution morphing into a revolution. As women have spent decades rising in numbers and influence at the top levels of the party, now it is their time. Whether a woman ultimately becomes the Democratic nominee or not, and I suspect one will, these women, Senators Harris, Warren, Gillibrand, and likely others, will set the pace and set the agenda and tap into the grassroots support from women and men to repudiate Donald Trump, change the direction of this country, and show young women across America what it means to know their value. It is past time that America finally elects a woman as president and joins the ranks of our Western allies and civilized countries across the world, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.